In early July, we set off to drive the Washington Backcountry Discovery Route, covering more than 600 miles, mostly off-road, from the Oregon border all the way to Canada. You'd think we'd have this all planned out. The truth is, we decided to drive this route fairly last minute with little to no planning. We figured it would be an adventure either way, and we were right. After traveling full-time for the past 3 years, we hadn't yet explored around Washington and the Northwest, and we're excited to finally get a glimpse of what this corner of the country has to offer. We'd seen on the map that there were ice caves just a short detour from the BDR, so we had to go check them out.
So cold. You could feel the cold that quickly? Oh, wow. Yeah. Holy.
It was wild to learn that these ice caves were formed by ancient lava flows from Mount Adams over 12,000 years ago.
Insane.
The caves were super cool, but we were very grateful to get back to the warmth of the sunshine.
Oh my god. Wow.
So why don't you want to camp here?
It's a lot of mosquitoes. Not quite as bad as northern British Columbia, but it's pretty solid.
And why do you want to camp here? Oh, right. That.
A little way down the road, we were able to find a campground where the mosquitoes weren't quite as bad and still had beautiful views of Mount Adams. We had really hoped to camp at this particular spot on Bethel Ridge. However, when we arrived, another couple was already there. We didn't want to intrude, but they were kind enough to invite us to soak in the views of Mount Rainier before we continued on in search for another spot to camp. Although the views were beautiful at this next spot, it really wasn't ideal weather to camp on an exposed ridge, so we decided to drop down to lower elevation in search of something a bit more sheltered. We had hoped for a camp with grand views, but being tucked in among the ponderosa pines made for a cozy and quiet evening by the fire.
So we should have camped here last night, huh?
Whoops. Yeah, the views are just insane up here.
Yeah. Mount Adams. Rainier's just out of view.
One of our favorite things about the Washington BDR is how often the landscape changes. Snowy volcanoes, pine forests, rugged ridgelines, and arid grasslands. It really showcases how diverse Washington's terrain can be. We kept stopping to take in the views of Mount Rainier and the surrounding peaks. By this point, it had become a running joke to say, "Oh, should have camped here," at basically every beautiful spot we passed. That evening when we arrived in camp, we got a message from our friend Ted, who we met while in Baja earlier this year. Ted spends his winters living on a sailboat in the Sea of Cortez, and his summers flying helicopters for cherry orchards in Washington. And since we were close by, we invited him to join us at camp that night.
Bare-chested.
Yeah.
And at the end, I was like, the water felt warm at the end. I was like, yeah. I was shivering.
It was so fun catching up, and he invited us to swing by the orchard the next day to check out the helicopters. Of course, we couldn't say no. The next morning, we started the day with what would turn out to be our most exciting and most challenging section of the whole BDR.
Yeah, that's a little dodgy, eh?
This sketchy, off-camber stretch is known as the Beehive Washout. In the little bit of research that we did do, we had seen that someone had rolled their vehicle here, which made it feel a little more exciting, especially since it took us 4 attempts to get through the start of it.
Man, wow. Okay, I'm gonna try again, so back up a little. Yeah, that kind of put me in a line I didn't like, but it worked.
While the BDRs are primarily designed for adventure motorcycles, many of them are doable in a 4x4 vehicle. But this section really highlights the difference between motos and 4x4s. The official Washington BDR page doesn't even mention it, because for motos, it's no big deal. But when you're trying to keep 4 wheels on the ground, it's a whole different story, and this section could easily be a showstopper.
Oh my goodness.
Oh, that was spooky. That was fun. Glad we don't have to do it again.
Yeah, right?
Our friend Ted has the coolest job. When it rains, he flies a helicopter over the orchards so that the downwash from the rotors blows the rain off the trees, preventing the cherries from splitting. Before meeting Ted, I had no idea that this was even a thing.
Also made the machine quieter.
Not only did we get to check out the helicopters, but we also got to pick our own cherries.
You should get them with the stem.
For us, some of the best parts of travel are all the people that we meet, the friends that we make, and the unexpected reunions along the way. This is outrageous. I don't know if I've ever had this many cherries all at once before. Yeah. Thanks, Dad.
Yes.
Views aren't bad either. So pretty.
With the early start, we ended up covering 110 miles, our biggest day yet, in search of another high camp with beautiful views. And boy, did we luck out.
How did you not just fall off?
I don't know, it was magic. Ta-da! We're pros now.
Basically.
Finding a teeter-totter in the middle of nowhere felt like a good reminder that fun doesn't have to be complicated. Just a couple of logs in a field, simple, unexpected, and kind of perfect. It's funny how you don't always notice just how tired you are until you finally stop moving. Our last night on the BDR, it all kind of caught up with us. The miles, the dust, the pace. Driving an average of 60 miles off-road every day for 10 days is a lot. We normally travel a lot slower, and in retrospect, our lack of planning pushed us faster than we'd like. There were so many spots where we wanted to stay longer to hike, explore, and just be. We were tired, but we were also really grateful. Grateful for the stunning views, the unexpected challenges, a chance reunion, and for getting to spend 10 days outside doing what we love.
It's 1 o'clock start to our day.
We barely scratched the surface of what this beautiful state has to offer and look forward to future trips to explore this area further. But for now, we were headed to the official northern end of the Washington Backcountry Discovery Route at the Canadian border. The past 10 days were incredible, and a reminder of why we fell in love with this kind of travel in the first place. Thanks so much for joining us. Please consider subscribing and liking this video. It really supports our channel. We can't wait to share more of our adventures with you, and we hope to see you out there.